music, I'm out of here. Hit my music. Hit my music. I'm the champ. Hit my music.
Thank you for joining the Fabulous B Effect, a wrestling podcast. I am your host, Fabulous B, and I will be going over this week in the world of WWE wrestling. Today, I will not be quoting from the Bleacher Report, as I have written my own report for WWE Smackdown April 5th edition. Remember, if you like this podcast, please hit the subscribe button below. Now, on to this week's episode of the WWE. So, to be completely and totally honest, I'm going to go ahead and start off with, this is the 14th sellout show that the WWE has had, with an attendance of 19,833 people. That's astounding in itself. 14th sellout show. It means one thing, that WWE has a hot product right now. And if everybody agrees, hit that smash button down below. Also, to tell you the truth, I missed probably the first 30 seconds to a minute of the show. Whenever I turned it on, it was the Final Testament vignette on the Pride, where they were talking about how Bobby Lashley and the Pride was going to go down. To tell you the truth, I don't care about either one of these teams. Both of these teams are lackluster in their build-up. Karrion Kross is not the threat that everybody is making him out to be, and neither is Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley, great competitor, great athlete, just not a believable character work. Like, has absolutely no redeemable qualities in my book. Next, Logan Paul comes out and basically he talks shit to Philadelphia, calling them all a bunch of, names and stuff, and, how he hates having to spend his weekend in Philadelphia, and whoever did that should be fired, and that he was going to send his goons after Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, which his goons who happen to be Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Well, they lost track of, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. The goons did. They wound up at the where they're going to have the stadium for the WrestleMania. Great setup, by the way. The way that they've got WrestleMania this year is outstanding. But so they're showing them on the video, and all of a sudden, from underneath the ring is Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. Well, of course, they get up in the ring. They lay the Smackdown on the Maverick and leave him in a heap, lying in the middle of the ring. Which is pretty funny because, he was out there running his mouth. He kind of deserved it. But to tell you the truth, I honestly think that he's going to retain against Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. I think there's going to be a feud between those two that's going to wind up, costing them any kind of redeemable, storyline. So after that happens, there was a backstage segment where Carlito was standing over Dragon Lee, and Dragon Lee was, had just been attacked. I personally think that Carlito did it. I really think that he's got a heel turn coming. So Rey Mysterio and Zelina, they're like, "Oh my gosh, what happened? What happened?" And he's like, getting ready to tell them, and all of a sudden Zelina's music hits for her match against Elektra. Since this is being Elektra's first match in the WWE, she comes out with Santos Escobar, and then out from the back was Dominic Mysterio, and who does he have with him? But he has Andrade. Well, Andrade is we're like, oh my gosh, well, maybe Andrade came back and he's a heel. So the match happens, and Dominic gets involved, and Santos gets involved, and winds up costing Zelina the match to Elektra. So Rey Mysterio comes out, and is trying to console Zelina, and then Santos, Andrade, and Rey Mysterio, or Dominic, jump in, and they start beating down Rey. Well, they're telling Andrade to get in there and get some of this kind of thing, and Andrade takes off his jacket and starts beating the crap out of Santos and out of Dominic. I was like, oh shit, okay, well, that's pretty awesome. So he is definitely a face, and he's I honestly, I can't wait for the matches between Andrade and Santos, because that's going to be something. And a little side note here is that little beatdown on Dragon Lee, he is unable to compete in this WrestleMania. So who do they put in place? Well, it was Carlito that came up, and he was like, hey, Dragon Lee, he can't be in the match. And then Andrade said that he would do it. The look on Carlito's face, you can tell there was a heel turn. So, right before it goes to commercial, and after that little segment and everything, you see Naomi, Bianca, and Jade Cargill making their way to the ring, basically hand in hand, and kind of doing their little cheesy thing. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm kind of tired of Bianca Belair. She needs to be heel already. Stop being such a baby face, because nobody's buying it. All right, so after commercial comes back, Naomi's new music hits. So she's got, this glow thing, and, it's pretty interesting. And then Bianca's music hits, and everybody falls asleep or goes to the bathroom. P match, and then Bianca and Naomi are in the ring, and there's a little bit of a humorous segment there. What I found odd is that whenever Jade Cargill comes out, all three of those women are wearing cowboy hats, and they're wearing cowboy type attire, which I kind of think is a nod to Beyonce, because Beyonce has that new country album out, which I think the world is flipping upside down for that happening. But anyways, Jade is not, she's a powerhouse. To me, she's a female version of Brock Lesnar. Don't give her a microphone, because just let her go out there and use her fists or her abilities or whatever, because she, and this is my opinion, she's very nasally, and she is not very good on the mic. So that segment is over. And then they go to backstage area, and you see Jay getting ready for his match against Solo, and he cuts a little promo about Solo, and if the crowd wants to see his little brother get beat down, give him a yeet. Of course, I'm sitting in my lazy boy chair, and I'm like, yeet. So I don't know. I'm a fan. So then it goes to commercial, comes back, and the new Catch Republic with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne music hits, and it's funny because now coming to the ring as their match is getting ready to start. The tag team that they're facing is Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Well, they were just across the street at the other arena. Well, I don't know. It just didn't make any sense to me. But anyways, it was a pretty entertaining match. I always like watching Pete Dunne do his thing. He's, a master manipulator of limbs, and he does some pretty crazy stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm also a fan of Grayson Waller's abilities. You know what? To tell you the truth, all four men are very professional and very good at what they do in the ring. I am not going to, take away from that. So ultimately, Grayson Waller and Austin Theory win. Their little heel run is kind of taking its course. And then out from the crowd, who jumps all four of these men? The Judgment Day. So the Judgment Day, lays the beat down on Austin Theory and Grayson Waller and Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Leaves them all, just in a heap in the middle of the ring, and they cut a little promo, and you're like, oh, okay, well, Judgment Day is going to be victorious this weekend, and at WrestleMania, and I'm like, I really don't think so. I think Judgment Day is going to lose all their titles, all of them, including Mommy. That's just my opinion. So, cut to, a little segment with Bayley and how she put together Damage Control and how she was best friends with Dakota Kai and Io Sky, and how she just she feels betrayed and everything like that. Of course she's betrayed. She put together that faction, and now they've turned her back on her. So it's basically showing Bayley is going to be a face again, which, I mean, if you enjoyed Bayley's heel turn, her little beef that she's had with Michael Cole this whole entire time has been hilarious. Her Ding Dong Hello the segments, just her, she has so much fun and charisma in the ring. I'm a fan of Bayley. Initially, whenever she was the hugger, I didn't really care for that too much. This heel turn, I mean, it's taken some time for it to grow on me, but now I enjoy it. I'm kind of wondering what this new face turn is going to look like for her. It could be very good. It could be crap. So the after that little vignette, it goes to commercial, comes back. LA Knight comes out to address AJ Styles. And, I mean, obviously, he's getting the crowd worked up, and he's getting one hell of a pop with his things. And what happens while he's doing that? He's a guy that usually comes to the ring and he's chewing gum or he's got something in his mouth. Well, guess what? During one of his little stints, he swallowed his gum. And he choked on it. Live, on air, and it was friggin' hilarious. I started dying laughing. I'm an LA Knight fan. I'm also an AJ Styles fan. This particular feud does not seem well thought out. I mean, it's kind of on the back burner compared to some of the other storylines that are going on right now. I mean, I honestly think that the Damage Control on Bayley has more of a build-up than this AJ Styles and LA Knight does. But anyways, I digress. That, I honestly think that both of these men are about the same age. I think they have a lot left to give the ring, or in the ring. And I see this match as being pretty decent. I mean, it's going to be a good match. It's just that there's really no good story there. I mean, there was a 4-way match with Roman Reigns, and AJ didn't like LA Knight because he stepped over his body to get to the top, and blah 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 blah. I mean, it was unbelievable. So after, all of that was, done with LA Knight and nothing happening other than, just him talking shit. The Pride cuts a Vignet, and B-Fab is talking about how the New Testament, and to be honest, I fell asleep for, the 2 or 3 minutes that she was talking. I know that Bobby Lashley said something in there, and I kind of just tuned them both out. I think I was pretty much writing up my report about that time, so it wasn't anything that I was really interested in. The Pride, once again, is just one of those thrown together things. I enjoyed the Street Profits as the Street Profits and not as Bobby Lashley's Pride. Get him away from Bobby Lashley or let somebody else talk on the microphone. I honestly think that it should have been Montez Ford that does most of the talking for them, but that's just me. So after the next few commercial breaks, Jay's music hits. He comes out and he does his, yeet thing, gets the crowd riled up. The crowd is definitely eating up with his yeet. That didn't sound right. But anyways, so he gets the crowd riled up, and then all of a sudden, Solo's music hits, and there's no Jimmy. Yeah, you can feel my eyes rolling here. Where's Jimmy? Oh yeah, he's waiting for the right moment in the match to jump Jay and then cost Solo the match. Well, after a decent back and forth between Solo and Jay, that's exactly what happens. Jimmy jumps in and starts beating up Jay, and then Jimmy and Solo start beating Jay down, and then in classic WWE fashion, Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes comes out to save Jay. Well, they get the upper hand, the three of them. They beat down the bloodline and yada yada yada, and it seems not well thought out. I'm going to really enjoy the match between Jay and Jimmy at WrestleMania. It's going to be fun, but after they get the upper hand and chase Solo and Jimmy out of the ring, they all hit their finishing maneuvers on Jimmy, so that's that. And then that was nice. But anyways, as they get hit their finishers on Jimmy, Cody Rhodes cuts a promo and saying how they're gonna take down the bloodline and this and that and the other thing, and rightfully so. I think the time for the bloodline is about to end. It's run its course. It's been 3 or 4 years now since they've started the bloodline, but hey, it is what it is. All right, well, that was it for SmackDown. To tell you the truth, I didn't watch the Hall of Fame induction. The only reason why I would have is to see Paul Heyman get inducted. Not really interested in the other superstars that were inducted this year, but I am really eager for today's WrestleMania, which is day 1, Saturday, April 6th, and then tomorrow's Saturday, April 7th, night 2. All right, everybody. If you enjoyed this podcast, please, hit the like and subscribe down below. Hit that little bell icon, and then make sure that you tune in for the next episode, which is going to be one that'll probably be tonight for WrestleMania Night 1. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the Fabulous B Effect. And I will see you next time.